Hey everybody, I hope you can hear me. Michael Matt here. It's chilly up here today. It's like 10 below zero. My absolutely hands down favorite time of year. So beautiful out here. I just wanted to say something about this latest bit with Francis. I don't even know if it is. I'm talking about this letter to the U.S. bishops about illegal immigration and the other. I guess I'd start off by saying I don't even know who's writing this stuff for Francis anymore. I just saw him the other day trying to finish a sermon, ran out of breath, couldn't finish, homily. And so he's got the bronchitis, he's super sick, he's way overweight, not looking good at all. So who's writing this stuff? I don't know, but it's really got to stop. I said years ago that before they were done, these guys are going to be presenting a clear and present danger to the physical safety and well-being of us and our children. Well, I think that's exactly where we are now. I really do. Whether it's banning the Latin Mass and calling us rigid, extremists, and thereby attracting the attention of the FBI in this country. Thank God Trump's administration is going to, I think, take care of that problem. But this is Francis, Francis is the head of the Catholic Church saying, hey, look out for these guys. Look out for these rigid people. We're talking about families, these rigid people, families with 8, 9 kids, homeschoolers. They just want to be left alone, Or now that we're talking about the breakdown of the rule of law, okay? Our city's being overrun. As I always say, we have no problem with the other. So Francis is trying to draw this distinction between people who just come across as the other and illegal criminality, you know what I mean? Like criminals. Well, everybody that comes into this country breaks all the rules, refuses to become citizens. They are criminals. They're breaking the law, Francis. So I'm the grandson of immigrants. They came over from the old country. They learned the language. They followed the rules. They didn't become criminals. And I'm very proud of the fact that we are an immigrant, sons and daughters of immigrants in my family. So it has nothing to do with the other. And the irony is that this letter, I'm going to get to it in a minute, to the U.S. bishops, Michael Haynes is reporting, I hadn't seen this before yesterday, but the Vatican quietly, the city-state, they quietly came out with a law back in December, just in December of 2024, saying that anyone who enters Vatican City illegally is going to be punished with 1 to 4 years in jail, in prison, and something like a 10 to 25,000 euro fine. So what about the other, Francis? You're going to throw them in jail if they break into your town? But if they break into my town, I'm supposed to just welcome them warmly and say, hey, kids, look, careful of this guy. He's undocumented. He's illegal. He's desperate. But Francis says we're supposed to welcome him with open arms, whether he follows the rules or not. Clear and present danger. They want to destabilize our country. They want to equalize. They want to knock it all down, flatten the flame, level the playing field, so that they can establish this basic tenet of a new world order, which is no country will be superior to another. No country will have it figured out more than another. You can't have borders. This is the whole George Soros thing. A world without borders, right? That's evil nationalism. And once you have total chaos, universal chaos the world over, then according to these friends of Pope Francis, you're going to need a police state to maintain law and order. This is a clear and present danger to the world now that Francis is, through his absolute dereliction of his duty, that's what he's doing. Let me just read. I don't want you to think I'm making this stuff up. Let me just read to you briefly if my phone doesn't freeze. What this letter is all about. So he says, I have followed closely the major crisis. This is to the U.S. bishops. I have followed closely the crisis, the major crisis that is taking place in the United States with the initiation of a program of mass deportation, right? The rightly formed conscience cannot fail to make a critical judgment and express its disagreement with any measure that tacitly or explicitly identifies the illegal status of some immigrants with criminality. Well, they're coming over because refusing to apply for citizenship. What else is that other than criminality? he says, the act of deporting people who in many cases have left their own land for reasons of extreme poverty, insecurity, exploitation, persecution, or serious deterioration of the environment damages the dignity of many people and women. I see. So the environment is driving them all out of these countries. Is that what it is down in Mexico or down in South America? It's the environment that's driving people out of China and out of Islamic countries. No, Francis. Actually, let me give you a quick history lesson. What happened, especially with these countries, that were formerly Catholic countries, the reason they're leaving, the reason it's destabilized, is because there's no rule of law. And do you know why there's a serious lack of rule of law in those countries? In many cases, because the Catholic Church is gone. Your friends, Francis, who are running around the world right now trying to outdo Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and George Soros, they're the ones who were the first to take out the Catholic Church, and you don't care about that at all. You don't care about any of this. You're quick to write a letter to Donald Trump, and everybody in this audience knows that if something comes along that I disagree with Trump, I'm going to disagree with him. I totally disagree with him. His position on Gaza, it's ridiculous, and I hope he changes his mind on that. But where was exactly the letter from the Pope when Joe the Catholic Biden was promising to abort every single baby, was promising to make Roe versus Wade the law of the land, right up to the moment of death? Where was Francis's letter to the U.S. bishops when Joe the Catholic Biden was not only legalizing gay marriage, but was doing it, performing it himself in very public fashion as vice president? Where was he when Joe the Catholic Biden had transsexualized, transgenderized, surgically altered young people come into the White House to make a statement? Where was Francis? Absolutely nothing happened. Right? No letter at all from Francis on that. Give him communion. Welcome him with open arms. But you got a guy, a president, who wants to do this. This would be certainly within the purview of what a president is supposed to do: protect his citizens by making strong borders. That's what a country is. It's practically speaking his first order of business. Trump's, and Francis is trying to shut him down. Francis is trying to enlist these useless bishops, these socialist bishops, to exercise their minimal, shrinking authority to attack Trump. This is why so many people have left the Catholic Church. They're completely out of touch in the Vatican. Completely out of touch. So where were they? And again, their policies caused the deterioration of the Catholic Church, which meant, over the years, I'm talking about the modernist revolution, they went to war with what? They went to war with monastic orders, with the convents, which means the people who ran the orphanages and the schools and the soup kitchens all over the world were suddenly not there because there weren't any vocations. So that's within Francis's purview. He should be asking that, whatever happened to the Catholic support systems that actually, instead of robbing people like Catholic Charities does, and using it for all sorts of using the money for nefarious reasons, what happened to the good old-fashioned Catholic orphanages and schools that used to create a stronger society in third world or poor countries that made it so people didn't have to leave their own country and go breaking the law in hours just to get over the border in a panic, right? Whatever happened to that? Why is no one asking why we can't fix those countries so those poor people don't have to leave their homes? I wouldn't want to leave my home for any reason. Yet the situation in so many of these formerly Catholic countries is so desperate that people are leaving their homes and doing crazy things like scaling walls and breaking the laws and fighting police to enter a country illegally. And they become desperate people. And now Francis is saying, hey, you deal with that, because that's what the Lord would do. Don't forget about the other. That's Francis. So this is what I mean by, before he's done, it's already happening, he is creating a clear and present danger to the physical well-being of everyone, of all of us. That's Francis. That's what he's saying. And again, I don't know who's writing this crap. Probably it is not Francis, it's Team Francis, but certainly is in the spirit of Francis, what he's always done. Sorry, I'm getting steep hill here. So that's, to me, this is such a crisis, you know, where we're actually saying, gee, I sure hope that Francis doesn't successfully influence the bishops to influence our country, so that the politicians who are trying to protect us will abandon those measures, open up the borders, let everybody flood in here like the the barbarians in Rome and just sack the cities. That's what Francis wants. So I sure hope that Donald Trump doesn't listen. It puts us all in such a weird position. Trying to influence the Trump administration is going in the right direction. Trying to make them more pro-life. Trying to make them all about America and protecting our country. And at the same time, as Catholics saying, yeah, but don't listen to this Pope. Stay away from this guy and stay away from 95% of the bishops because they're dangerous. Such a ridiculous point in time in history of this country for Catholics. This is what we're dealing with. And yet, of course, the Catholic Church built this country. Francis forgot about that. The great immigrants, the great priests, the missionary priests built this country, built these great cities. And now you got this, I'm sorry, but you have got a socialist, globalist buffoon trying to wreck what's left of it, what's left of this country. It's just unbelievable. So obviously, pray for Francis, of course. Ask God to take him home sooner than later because things are really bad now. He's out of control. And as I say, whoever's running the show, when John Paul got this bad, whoever was running the show then began doing all sorts of bizarre things. You know, like reforming the rosary and confusing everybody there. John Paul never changed the rosary. It was whoever was running the show at that point. So we're in a very dangerous position right now. And I just hope and pray that more people will wake up. Francis, more than anything else in the world today, Francis is the problem. That's my morning rant on this beautiful cold morning. Hope you'll all, hey, check out my new underground. It's all about this situation in Gaza. We got to get up strong and resist this, whoever is forcing Donald Trump or pushing Donald Trump in the direction of a total lockstep alliance with Netanyahu's regime. That's that. You got to stand up to do something about that. Do whatever we can. So make sure you check out the new Remnant Underdog over at remnantnewspaper.com. Remnantnewspaper.com, remnant-tv.com, over at YouTube or whatever. All right, guys. Thanks very much. God bless you all. Have a great day.